Guys, welcome back to another Excel video. Today we'll be looking at sorting and advanced filtering. Here we have a Microsoft document that we started from the last episode, so we're going to continue with that same Excel exercise. So we're going to continue by adding a new column to our previous document, and we're going to do some calculations and so forth. So let me run back through what we're going to do with the Microsoft Word portion. It says here that we're supposed to insert a column before the political party that we already have. So we are going to determine the votes received. Right? So we're going to add a column. So where we have in our party here, we're supposed to add a column there. So we can go to the column letter, right click, and where we see insert, we click on insert and we get a new column there. So for that new column, we're going to put in our title, votes received. I will go and type that. So we have our votes received column set up here. So if we go back to the Excel document here, it says that we're supposed to do some calculations. It said the candidate rating represents the percentage of votes received by the candidate in a given constituency. For example, given that 6,400 votes were cast and the candidate has a rating of 20, the votes received by the candidate would be calculated by the candidate rating that the person received divided by 100 times the votes received. So we're going to put in our formula. So we start our formula to calculate the votes received. We look for the votes received is calculated by the votes cast over here times the candidate rating over here. So to calculate, we need to use our formula, which includes our cell address for the values. So we'll start off by saying equal. So the first value in the votes cast is 8,500. So that is in cell C2. And that is going to multiply by the candidate rating, which is 35 over here. So we could call that candidate rating is in column F2. So it's F2. And all of that is now going to be divided by 100. Press enter. And we determine the votes received there. So we could use our fill handle to bring it down. And it changes. Notice it changes as we go along. C2 and we go down. So we could continue copy down for the rest of the values. Notice here we have some of the values being calculated in decimal place. So we need to change that. So let us look at what task 2 says here. Before it says format the votes received by each candidate to 0 decimal place. So we need to cancel out the decimal place. So we select and we use this section under number, which says we can increase our decimal place or we can decrease. So what we want to do, we can highlight the values and decrease the decimal place. So the ones that need to be decreased, we go to those decimal values and we decrease those decimal values to 0 decimal place. So it becomes whole number. Remember that we're dealing with human, so we cannot have 0.1 of a human. So it's a whole number there to represent individuals. And the same thing over here where you find decimal values, decrease those decimal values. That would be set there. Part 2 says sort the data first on party in ascending order, and secondly on votes received in descending order. So we're going to do a basic sorting here, sort and filter system. So let's just look at sort and filter. So we have to use the headings. So we highlight the document that we want to sort. So we highlight the entire area that represents the document that needs to be sorted. Notice my area is covered, is highlighted. I will then identify this icon, which is sort and filter here. I will click on my sort and filter, and I will go to custom sort, because I'm going to perform a custom sort by 2 fields or 2 column headings. So we'll do custom sort. First, we add another level because we have a sort by and a then by. One is a primary sorting and one is a secondary sorting. So it says here in the question, sort the data on party. So this will be my primary sort, my first. And it says, and secondly, on votes received. This is in descending order. That's my secondary sort. So we're going by party and vote received. So we select parties and then we select votes received. And we have them in the order. So we're going to set the order for one is in ascending, the other is in descending. Ascending and descending. Very good. Then we click OK. Notice it has been rearranged. We start now with parties, and we know that in the alphabet D would come first, so we have that set in ascending order going up, and the votes received would be in a descending order going down. Question 3 says now that we are going to do an extraction. It says whether or not a refund is due to a candidate, use an appropriate labeled column, state it, refund due or no refund for each candidate. A refund is due if the candidate votes received equals or exceed 20%. It says equal or exceeds 20% of the votes cast in the constituency. A list of all candidates who should receive a refund. Extract the data to the bottom of the worksheet. So for us to do advanced filter, we are going to have to set up our criteria range area. So for us to use our criteria range, we'll use back our column titles or column heading. So I'll just copy these and paste it at the bottom, give it some space. I use back my column titles, and what we're going to do now let us recap this part. So let us continue. So we place our column titles at the bottom, but first let us create the column that is going to assist us in this extraction. So let us create our refund column. So let us put in our refund column here. Refund due column. So the formula to calculate the refund due is if the the candidate rating exceeds or equal 20 of the candidate rating, you give them a refund due. If it doesn't exceed, we give them no refund. So we're going to insert the formula. So we start by saying equal if, open bracket, and we don't put any space in the formula, if the candidate rating, which is in F2, say highlight the first one, is greater than or equal to the first value that is there. And it says exceeds 20%. That is what they want. So if it's equal or exceed 20%. So let us start with the first value, which should have been 20. Comma for then. We put our quotation, then we would say refund due. Comma for else. And we insert quotation to display the text on the screen. Quotation to close, and we close off with our bracket at the end. Press enter. So it will determine now if it is greater than 20, these persons would get a refund. If it is not, and we bring it down, those persons would get no refund. So this person would have 15, would get no refund here. Right? And we continue this going down. And then we stop. So we need this column also to be a part of our X criteria range that we're going to do for our extraction here. So under this now, we only want persons who get a refund due. So we select, let me cancel that. We want refund due. Just the word refund. Let us type it REFUND, refund due. We have everything set up. So at the bottom represent our criteria range. So at the top we're going to extract those persons. So we highlight the top portion of the data. So all of this selected area is your listing range. So let us go to start our advanced filter. So we go to data, we select advanced. So the field that has this active line around it is considered your list range area. We select copy to another location, and where it says here criteria range, our criteria range would have been the column headings that we set up at the bottom. So we select the arrow, go to the bottom of where we have our criteria range set up, and we highlight the two rows that consist of the data that we are looking for. Go back here and we select copy to where we want the information to be placed. And we select some empty space at the bottom. And we click back on the arrow here. So we have filled out our list range, which consists of the blue area, the criteria range, which is the two rows, which consists of your criteria data that we are looking for refund due, and where we want this data to be extracted to, and then we click OK. And it says the destination range is too large enough to paste all the information. Do you want to click yes? And we say yes. And notice from this, it would have select all the persons who would have gotten refund from out of this. and we would save this data here. So we could merge out some fields here and write extraction. Good. All of that section here would have been your criteria range, and this would be my extracted portion here. So that is how we do sorting and extraction. All right, thank you. Have a good day.